So hello everybody, I'm Palsan from Malaysia. Greetings from the Faculty of Agro-Based Industry, Universiti Malaysia Kelantan Jeli. 16 September, it's Malaysia Day and the time is just over 9:40 p.m. here. Firstly, a big thanks to Christian, the UK Biochar Research Centre for the initiative for having this online platform under the Green Carbon European Training Network to begin with, and for making cross-border academic discourse possible again. Our sharing will be on a flagship program spearheaded by the Ministry of Finance, Malaysia, with the university under the UMK MOF Social Enterprise Project, covering biochar enriched products and capacity building for social enterprise development. The project focuses on three main areas, which would be agro waste utilization, product development, and community engagement. Now, a little bit of background on how it all started. Well, the site here, which can be all too familiar, the problem statement, which I believe is a global one. Looking at statistics, more than 1.2 million metric tons of agro waste are produced locally, and about 2 billion metric tons globally, over 70% of which are left to rot and disposed as trash. Now, isn't that a waste being wasted? More than often, cleaning up means to gather all, pile up, and carry out open burning. This leads to air, soil, water pollution, adverse health effects, and further deteriorates environmental and aesthetic quality. Here we can see and observe a stretch of coconut shells has been burned openly. So we wondered, what can we do about it? How can we create value from it while at the same time have meaning, be beneficial, self-sustaining in the long run? Not merely some campaigns, awareness programs or such, no. We wanted something that would require and involve participation and engagement from the people themselves. We wanted to have an initiative that would be impactful to the locals, the community. Back at the university, we have been working with biomass conversion and looking at development of biomass-based products. And well, one of it happens to be biochar. That triggered the interest and built the motive further on. Now, without getting into specifics, biochar can be broadly defined as a highly stable carbon-rich solid derived from biomass heated in a limited oxygen environment. Making biochar reduces carbon dioxide in the environment and the atmosphere because it takes theoretically a carbon-neutral process of naturally decaying organic matter and turns it into carbon negative. And as we can see here, the global biochar market will reach USD 3.5 billion by 2027, and global demand was about 330 kilotons back in 2018, with CAGR projected to grow about 11 to 13% from 2019 to 2027 in terms of volume and revenue. And agriculture is the largest segment, over 70% by application. And we know that biochar is charcoal typically applied as soil amendment added to improve overall physical, chemical, and biological properties of soil, largely intended for agricultural use. And it attracts and holds nutrients, moisture, and provides residence for microbes, among others. Thus, biochar is a strong proponent for food security, global climate change, and carbon sequestration agenda, and an emerging industry key for increasing crop yield and agricultural productivity. So, instead of just offering biochar as the commodity, biochar enriched planting media mix will be the value-adding factor, providing an all-in-one complete functional brand for planting use. Business-wise, it will be an alternative or synergy to existing planting and fertilizer mix in the market. Apart from home users for general planting, bulk buying customers are always there. And if from the local view context, the market demand for planting media is more than 10,000 bags per month, but current market players can only meet 50% of the demand. Hence, there's an opportunity to address the gap for planting mix demand. On a broader aspect, this project will create value chain for the villagers, smallholders, SMEs, as well as solve issues related to agro waste dumping and pollution. What more, it is in line with the government's aspiration of Shared Prosperity Vision SPV 2030 to help the lower income group, community group in elevating their economic standing. So that is our main objective. And to power the lower income group, not by means of continuous assistance all the time, but to adopt a social enterprise model where they can help themselves and help others themselves. So these participants will learn, practice, acquire skills, develop the entrepreneurial activity that will benefit their community by creating the value chain and being transformational towards society and environment in whole. Thus, this brings us to the following objective. The first, to transfer biochar enriched planting mix production, knowledge and skill set for capacity building, to impart enriched planting mix business model and value proposition, and to prepare them as an independent, self-sustaining biochar entrepreneurs. That will be the social trust. So here we are located in Jeli, in the state of Kelantan, northeast of Peninsular Malaysia, about 2 hours drive from the nearest airport in the state capital, Kota Baru. The community establishment is about 30 minutes drive from the university. So we adopted what we call a matching model, where the ministry and the university provided initial machinery support, the knowledge transfer sessions for capacity building, while the participants prepared the site and facility, indicating their interest, dedication, willingness, and commitment towards the project. As mentioned earlier, the focus is on agro waste utilization, product development with community engagement towards their self-empowerment. The timeline estimate spanning over 12 months is shown here, comprising of 5 phases, namely production facility setup, followed by collaborative training, material sourcing and preparation, processing and production, and then we will have the commercial ready product at the end of the day. So the collaboration, the collaborative training for the participants were done or presented through an immersive knowledge transfer module focusing on 8 areas. The first would be getting them to know the biochar concept itself, followed by biochar making, the business model and value proposition, the biochar value chain, raw material use and sourcing, mixing and production, packaging and logistic, and finally sales and marketing. Please bear in mind that these folks had no prior exposure to biochar. What more, agro waste conversion or product development, but they had the motivation and were willing to put in the effort to learn along the way. So we started with 10 participants. We started with 10 participants, and to put things in perspective, the production flow of the project can be seen here. The main project activity began with sourcing of the raw material, concurrently followed with biomass conversion and material preparation. And then we have processing and production. Biomass carbonization was done in 200-liter drum with removable chimney tops by top-lit updraft method, thus reducing smoke emission. This mill was used to grind the carbonized coconut shell pieces to obtain a combination of fine and coarse particles within less than 1 mm and 1 to 3 mm. The biochar enriched planting mix, this is the important part, constituent consists of coconut shell and rice husk biochar. Then we have cocoa peat in fibrous form, topsoil, river sand. Then the compost blend, the EM, the effective microorganisms, and the photosynthetic bacteria cocktails were self-prepared and produced by the participants. And prior to the production, the planting media had been subjected to testing and validation. In the processing part, we have a rotary soil screener, okay, powered by a 2.5 HP motor for easy separation of unwanted materials, like we want to remove the stones, rubbish from the soil. Then we had, it was equipped with an expanded metal mesh of 3 mm to 8 mm. Soil crusher separator was used to crush bulky soil portions. Then we have the 150 kilo mixer to blend the whole formulation. The planting media mix was then transferred via a conveyor belt to a 4-hose bagging machine unit, and the filling chambers were customized to packaging dimensions. The weight of each bag can be varied from 1 kilo to 5 kilo. And on a good day, the capacity of production can reach up to 300 bags. Yeah, and the sealed bags were then ready for distribution to customers. And in the last 2 months, I'm happy to say that the community managed to secure regular weekly order of up to 500 bags. And at the same time, they do produce on a small scale some briquettes and pellets. And here we can see the different types of media, right, composition. There are variety of it, customized formulation, and the raw material can be substituted or added with other abundantly available agro waste. So we have like oil palm waste, empty fruit bunch, oil palm fronds, and so on. And the types of biochar ranges from raw biochar, then we have charged biochar, then fertilizer mix. And charging we found was essential to actually increase the nutrient content and retention. And we can also make customized formulation according to customers' requests and their budget as well. And the samples here from the basic biochar, we can see under the SCM, so you can see the structures resembling the cocoa fibers, the biochar, the burnt husks, sand and soil bits at different magnification. And the EDS, as you can see here, revealed the common major planting mix constituents ranging from carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and importantly, is free of heavy metals like lead, cadmium, or mercury. And the status so far, if you can see here, right, looking on, the team have actually managed well in terms of production. Business-wise, cumulative revenue up to last month stood at over USD $3,000. And planting media contributed to the most sale, followed by carbonized coconut shell. The other items, effective microorganisms and PSB solutions followed next. Yes, due to the pandemic, movement restrictions, somehow the constraints are there. Hopefully with the vaccination rate up, more can be done, like exploring and expanding the market. Environmentally, we are also very happy. Throughout the project to date, the team have actually recovered more than 19 tons of coconut shell, which would have otherwise been burned openly or disposed as trash. And from that, we produce about 5 tons of carbonized coconut shell. So in theory, this would have prevented the release of about 35 tons, give and take, carbon dioxide. And the application of biochar enriched planting mix will return approximately 2 to 2.6 kilo of carbon dioxide equivalent per kilogram biochar in the form of carbon back to the soil. In terms of value proposition, the team strives to deliver a complete biochar enriched planting mix for soil improvement with higher cost saving up to 50%. And this planting mix doesn't dry out easily, yeah, and it is not extremely powdery as opposed to other mixes in the market. Over time, we hope to see better process efficiency and increased output, and a bright future ahead for the production of use of more biochar and biochar-derived value-added products. And this could solve agro waste disposal problem and create multiple value chain by itself with potential equity growth. And during these times, we can see that actually during the pandemic, it presented an opportunity not to be missed to enter the market. So it's a kind of blessing in disguise. As interstate and inter-district travel slowed down to movement control order, the bigger, more established corporation companies cannot find the raw material to produce planting media. So this actually helped, because all this while they have to get it from out of the district. And Team BioArang Jeli, so BioArang is the local term for biochar, and Jeli reflects the locality. Now, as the community achieves production capacity, the supply shortage was their market introduction, so which they fulfilled the demand rather very quickly. And throughout the process, this opened up the supply chain where more community members took part, yes, be it in collecting the coconut shell, the rice husk, carbonizing, preparing and sourcing the supplying topsoil and sand. Economic activity picked up. People started earning additional income. And more orders, more interested agents. Slowly but surely, the local market will see a shift in the market share. And we are seeing, as I mentioned earlier, the economic empowerment, social transformation of the community while caring for the environment. Further work have been done on to bring more biochar enriched products into the market. Among these include filter media as alternative to activated carbon, biochar as poultry bedding for odor removal, and development of magnetic biochar. Magnetic biochar will be a mix of biochar and iron oxide nanoparticles with ferromagnetic characteristics. And XRD spectrum revealed a stable magnetic biochar composite, and the impregnated iron oxide was mainly in the form of megamite. So this compound can be incorporated into the planting mix to enhance soil's physicochemical properties for slow release and controlled release futures. With time too, we'll be working on more biomass-derived product. Overall, we see the realization of the quintuple helix model through social enterprise initiative. We are happy that we have done our part in coordinating, helping the government, engaging with the community, the business partners, with sustainable development goals in mind. In essence, this is a project for the community, of the community, by the community, where they are now able to help themselves and help others themselves. And here, I would like to take the opportunity to share the journey through this short video clip. So this would represent the setting up, right? Finding a site, processing center in the vicinity. So this is the receiving of the equipment, after which we have carried out continuous training. So this will be their preparation, conversion of the biomass material, carbonization taking place. This is where the charging is being done. So we have tried the many different formulations. So we let him soak up. The topsoil will prepare excavated from a nearby area. Use of the soil crusher and separator. All the work have been carried out successfully, wholeheartedly by the community. So this is the rotary screener to separate all the bulky materials, stones. This will be the training sessions that have been carried out. So we did a production trial run with active engagement with the participants, finalized the planting media formulation and mixing, carried on with the product testing, bagging. So this will be the mixer where we blend all the formulation and transfer to the conveyor belt. bagging machines. All the materials are ready for
BioArang Jeli. BioArang Jeli. Dari. USK. MOF. Social Enterprise Project.
And for the outcome, we see the successful inception of Team BioArang Jeli, the local biochar community, production capacity covering biochar generation, product development, production and manufacturing have been attained through the series of knowledge transfer program. The biochar business model had been put forward, practiced and proven. Local entrepreneurial activity has now contributed to the socio-economic empowerment of the community. The team is now training fellow community members on biochar making, so community members can make biochar on their own, collect resources and bring them here. Something of a crowd manufacturing concept. Also, those wanting to help in marketing and sales are mostly welcome. In conclusion, all the objectives have been achieved. They have now become self-sustaining biochar entrepreneurs. And with that, we look forward for further collaboration from interested parties, particularly on carbon offsets and carbon credit ventures for greater empowerment of the community in the circular economy. We haven't gone into that yet. So if you guys have any ideas or want to venture, collaborate, please contact us through Christian. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Palsan. That's a quite impressive project you have there.
Thanks, Christian.
Great.
Yeah, we work with the community.
Yeah. You already got 2 questions.
Yep.
So the first one was from Trevor, asking, do you use coconut shell or coconut husk?
Coconut shells. We use 2 types of biochar. The first would be coconut shells, and the other one would be rice husk.
Okay. And the second
one, the cocoa peat we use in the planting media. That is not carbonized.
And John was asking the focus area about sales and marketing.
Yeah.
So did you work on that too, or because you didn't mention it in the timeline?
Come again? Oh, it is towards the end because that is part of the 8th module. So we taught them how to do marketing and then how to come up with banners, how to approach vendors, retailers, and how to do. But you know, we didn't have much time to do face-to-face or physical due to the pandemic. But we did manage to do it around the vicinity, where we taught them for sales what are the things you have to have the points, like a business model, and what to highlight the advantage of the program, sort of like value proposition. So that was included in that module. But again, it's an ongoing consultation advisory services by the university, for the community.
And the follow-up question for that was from John. What is the time scale to commercial self-sustainability, or is that already self-sustainable?
Yeah. So far, because the fund was totally provided by the government as a one-time assistance, because they say you guys got the money, so the university have to coordinate, execute. If it doesn't work, that's it. They're not gonna like back you up or bail you out or whatsoever. So far, what we found interesting was that with the initial acumen comes around to 10,000 USD, things like that. But in the community, they actually had put in their effort. They put in some investment from their side as well to show that they are really into this. And when we look at the total money that has been spent, so the payback period is rough. Given the COVID scenario, the payback period will be around 1.5 years. And looking at the ROI, we calculated around 44%, around 3 years. But if, let's say we hope for the best, because now, the borders are opening up, economies are picking up, we can shorten the period. By a year, we can get payback and ROI will be higher in a shorter period of time when the economy eventually opens up.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. How many people are employed?
Because nowadays we can just send the thing around the local area. We cannot go out of state, but we do have demand. So we are hoping for that.
And how many people are employed right now?
So far, we started with 10 participants. So from the community, so these are people that we call the lower income group, which are earning less than 3,000 a month, and they have no other job. And because of the pandemic, some have lost jobs, and so we tried to help them. And from the 10 participants, everybody are working very hard, and 6 of them are actively manning the center, which now has become the collection, because other people, some other folks in the area would have carbonized the coconut shell. They come here and they sell it. So it becomes a center for the whole economy hub in the area, because previously there was none.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Ronald was asking how many facilities, or what are you expecting? What growth rate?
Okay, so for now, we are having one, and we do not want to open more facilities. We want this to be the hub, like the biomass collection and processing center, where people come and sell the carbonized, so they can do the carbonization at home. The community, we teach them, and we teach them also the formulation, how to do the microorganisms, the photosynthetic bacteria, so they can come and sell to the center here. And the center will also source all the topsoil, everything happens in this place. So we do not want for quality purpose, we do not want everybody doing it elsewhere, then because that's very important, because we want the customer trust. Because some people say they are in planting, there are a lot of stones, sometimes they cheat the weight. We do not want that to happen. So the quality control happens here in the center, and that's the first reason. Secondly, we want the Jeli hub, the Jeli team, to be in control. So and we do not want outside the district people coming in. So we control the market around here, and we let the community do it, so they have the sense of belonging, that they are doing it for them and for their people. Yeah, that
sounds great. It's a really nice project.
Thanks.
And the last question now is from Trevor again. Do you have independent plant growth trials already? So do you see an effect of biochar? Have you tested it?
Yeah, we actually, when we send it to our customers, like the nursery operators, in the earlier part, we actually just gave them samples. We just gave them free samples of different types of formulation. So we had the basic ones, and of course it's cheaper. Then we have the mid-range. So we told them, okay, with the mid-range, it will be, when it changed to USD, the basic, the 1 ringgit is around 24 cents. It's very cheap, right? And the premium one, so the premium one, we have more components in it, and then we added the EM, and that will come to around 250 USD. Yeah. So here is all affordable. So they actually tested with the different types of nursery plants, for sometimes housewife, they want to do the normal gardening. Yeah. So that actually became our test ground, and we have, if you notice in the video, around the facility, we have a small nursery where we test our samples. And during that early months, so we get feedback from the people. We get feedback, they say, oh yeah, they say this one, the plants die off. So we actually learn from that, because sometimes it's not the biochar, but the topsoil, the other components that goes into the mix that actually influences it. So very important, we look into the pH, and when we maintain that, we found, okay, when they say, okay, we want, they started to order 50 bags. Then the next week, they say, okay, 70, then 100. So we know, okay, this works. So that's how we did our validation, actually letting the customers decide. I mean, that's the best way. And from that, we had from that, word of mouth. So from one shop, then come 4 nurseries, and then we have all those district orders because they got the news. The only thing now is that the community are thinking of ways to actually the profit to put it back in the company or invest so that we can buy a bigger, grander machine because you have to up the capacity. So that will happen, after you have some profit.
Yeah, I guess you can talk to look up Paul Anderson's new kiln technology.
Yes, because we are doing that 500 bags per day, so that comes to if the whole week we work fully that 2,000 bags per month, 8,000. But market demand is higher, so we need to ramp up. But that will need some for the upscaling.
Yeah, I mean you have to start somewhere.
Yep.
And I think the last question from Tony that I think is a very interesting one because you mentioned it too. What carbon price would actually help you for offsets, carbon offset credits?
Yeah.
So what would you like to get?
Okay, that I think we have to further discuss. I mean, Christian, you can help us lead the way. The reason is that we have. Have to be fair. We have to let you know how many tons we can actually say, all right, I can give you this. So probably we can sit down on that and talk further because, in Biochar, the market price in Malaysia in ringgit, is cheap, very cheap. We convert to USD. So there's a lot of opportunity. And yes, thank you for the interest. I'm humbled. So probably Christian, can contact Christian and maybe we can sort of work something out from there. And hopefully when the pandemic is over, maybe we can come and do a site visit. And it's good that if you can see it with your own eyes and assess it as it is. And probably you can also suggest ways for us to improve. Capacity, that's our main issue at the moment. Because now we can fulfill the local area. But if you say out of state, wow, it's good, but so probably for now, as I mentioned earlier, we collected 19 tons of coconut shell. Before that, people just burn it away, burning money. And we actually, so that is a basic income, just like that. And we can get 5 tons from that. And our yield around 27% carbonization, so we can increase that. So per month we can get 3 tons of carbonized material. That we can assure you.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting, your project. So I hope when is the end? Is there an end date or?
Okay, the project was supposed to end, because of COVID. They give an extension. So actually, we have done our part. So we just want. It would be great for us to have face-to-face with them because now I just meeting with them. Not everybody because of the distancing, and we also do like on WhatsApp consultation, things like that. But the project will continue because we had the advisory council for the community. So no problem in that because we want the community to grow their business and we will be there to support them. And any help, any collaboration effort from like Christian, like from you, very much welcome. Please, when the pandemic is over, when the air, we can travel, please come down here. My personal invitation to our.
So